Aha, it is time. OPTiMUS OVERKill back up on the bench, my friends. A lot of people have been requesting an OPTiMUS OVERKill update, and really he is one of my shelf kings that I have up there. This is a complete custom fab job designed by my buddy David Jr. and I. Working together over the years, we've seen this truck transform so many times. I took it first from an axial dingle into one of the first dualies that we had ever seen, which was a gold and black truck. Many people were familiar with Overkill at that time. Then we took it into a black semi truck where it had 6 tracks on it, actually, instead of wheels. And we had a snowblower on the front, which was a black cab, and now into OPTiMUS OVERKill. Everything about the truck is basically overkill. That was the whole point back in the day. In fact, we even ran 3 batteries on this truck back then, all 6x6, so every axle is individually powered from 4 Tekin brushed motors. Now, people might say, you know, wouldn't brushless be overkill, or just one truck, or pardon me, one motor? And the answer is yes. We did, in fact, run 4 brushless systems in here when it was HD overkill, Rock 412s from Tekin. But the problem was actually getting the timing of all of the pinions and everything to run at the same time. Now, these hand-wound brushed motors, they actually are much more accurate at being the same, so we don't really have a lot of jittering and hopping in here. Also, I don't have to worry about any cog issues. Plus, I don't have to worry about waterproofing any brushless motors. Now, I do have a truck called Red Peter, who is over there. This 6x6 right there, he is run by one single brushless motor, and he is a beast by himself. But Overkill is completely different. Also, 6-wheel steering on all of these tires here. Got a waterproof Savox servo, a 1210 on each axle, and that allows me to control individually, except these 2 are controlled as one, the steering of this larger machine. Like, you can't really tell, but here's my iPhone 7, for example. And a 7 is a pretty big phone right there, at the time of this filming at least, and you can see that this machine is quite large. So running those 4 brushed motors are 2 Tekin RX8s. They have been cut and modified, no heat issues, and of course the batteries run back here. What do I run for batteries? 2 3 cells, 4,000 milliamps each, so a total of 6S for this rig. Plenty to do. What am I doing today? Really something simple. This old Proline bumper that we have on here is very beefy. It does look good on there, in my opinion, and fits the front of the truck very, very well. But unfortunately, apart from being plastic and kind of brittle, I'd like a new look. And so I was on Facebook, and Pig Snot, you heard that right, Pig Snot Fabrication, this is one of their bumpers now. It is super cool. Big stinger on the front, place for a nice big winch, which is what I want Overkill to have. We do have this older winch on here from RC 4-wheel drive. It does work, but I think one of those new super winches that I have will definitely add a lot more power. So I'm going to swap off the front here, get this installed today, and have a look at it, see what it can do, or if it even suits it, but I think it will. I think this will really give it a beefy look and a beefy stance. So let's get to work. Now, as I think about it, I'm actually kind of reminded about people asking me about this smoker system on the inside. Some folks may not know or may have not seen Overkill before, but out of these 2 stacks right here, I've got a lot of white billowing smoke. Now, granted, it doesn't look like it's rolling coal at all like a true diesel, because you can't really get black smoke coming out of your vape system, but at the same time, there's enough black smoke in the world. Still looks really cool. Yeah, I blew my head gasket. Or it's burning incredibly efficient. Okay, first thing to do is release the bumper. A little bit of surgery. I did disconnect my winch already. Slide it out. So on the front, you can see that the chassis rails are open. I'm looking at this Pig Snot mount, and so it looks like it's going to go on the outside And I'm going to remove these two chassis screws, these two chassis support screws, but leave the support in place. So as a tip for those that are installing a winch on their rigs, it's always good to install your winch on the bumper before you put the bumper on. This is the Super Scale winch, the RC 4-wheel drive. You can see there the 8274. This little guy, its specs say that it can handle up to 70 pounds of rolling drag weight, also 50 pounds of lift weight. And on this big behemoth right there, I can use every bit of pull power when I'm stuck in the mud. Just drilling out the plate holes for the screws. Making sure the holes are big enough for the larger screws that I'd like to use. Threading the screw through the hole I just made. And does it fit? That fits perfectly. Number one. Okay, now the bumper is mounted up. Is the front even going to be, hopefully it's got enough clearance here. Oh, because of the bumper, because of the winch, let's see. Fit it back into the post, slide it back. Do we have enough clearance? Oh, we don't. Oh no. Fail on my side. Okay, so check this out. This is actual real life RC here. Look at this. Now, this is a true bummer because my back headache rack there is not going to clear. And the reason why is this particular winch actually has some overhang. Now what, hey? Now, if I slid it forward one hole, the body does line up. Now, what I have to do is figure out how to eliminate this slop. If I cinch that up with a nut, and then there's another hole that we can do right in front of it, that would definitely pinch the chassis plate into this back aluminum brace I have right here, which would make it super solid. Number one, through to a nut on the other side. So now that that's done, I'm gonna put the chassis brace screw back into place. So I'm going from a total of 4 screws up front to a total of 6. Doing up the other side to pinch that chassis plate. Torquing up the last one. Does it move? It does not. So body back in place now that both sides are done. So I used a technique, even though I used 6 screws, to actually pinch the chassis plate together in between the first chassis brace and the aluminum chassis brace up front. Plus I have 2 screws going straight through the chassis, which makes it nice and solid. Well, there we are, my friends. The Pig Snot bumper has been installed. Overkill now has open headlight areas where I can install a lighting system into it. Why would I go and install something like this on this particular truck? It looks kind of funny, hey? It does. This old bumper on here actually looks it more better. It is a little beefier looking, but I remind you, this is all plastic. And so any kind of heavy pulling on the front really kind of caused an issue with this thin plastic wall on the inside. So now that I can use the lights in there, now that I've got something nice and rigid and strong with a super heavy duty winch on there, what I'm going to do is install some 100-pound fishing line on there. It's about the same color, but much more stronger than the winch line that comes with it. And I can hook up my snowplow with That's why I have all this push power on here, right? The snowplow will actually be lifted and lowered by this winch, and I actually have a hinge system that can go up and down, but I needed to get this done first. Now you've been able to come along with me and enjoy the upgrade. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always, my friends. If you've been inspired by the hobby, by RC Adventures, please go ahead, let us know in the video comment section below. And my friends, I have to say, if this doesn't get you outside to go and play with RC, I don't know what will. So get out there and have some fun with your friends, and we'll see you in the next episode of RC Adventures. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.